Hello and welcome everyone, this is Blackadder at Blackadder's Place and I welcome you to today's stream that is going to be concentrating actually on streaming something different than just Age of Mythology. It's going to be Age of Empires and it is going to be, as you can see, well, Age of Empires to the Conquerors Nations Cup 2017. The first match that I'm going to be streaming from this tournament is going to be between Czech Republic B and Australia C. It's going to be a 4v4 as we are apparently having enough players for that. Let's turn the fog of war to see if maybe somebody is going to be stealing, and there's already Chris Deco right next to Grant Nagus. Definitely aiming for a bit of a steal. They are both on the flank. So yeah, definitely there was an attempt to steal a boar, but well, did he find anything? Probably not, because one of the boars is at the back and the second one, oh well, it's kind of close by to his ally apparently, because yeah, this one is actually the ones on the right. That's 4. Great for Chirpas. And yeah, seems like that blue is not going to be happy with the result of this. But he has gone back and might actually attempt to steal it. Oh, he was... Oh, that's kind of weird. Because it really seemed like that it was reacting on the aggro from the villager. But in the end, well, didn't really help him all that much. And he is going to be attempting to actually steal it. But he definitely has to be right now quite wary. Because this scout is most definitely going to be attempting to not only kill the eagle, but also prevent the boar from actually running. So let's see how this is going to be succeeding. Just a bit of an action right at the start of the game. Definitely nice to see in here. That seems to be working just fine. Yeah, it's definitely nicely working the zigzag in here so that it is, well, still quite some ways to his home. So definitely has to be careful. But yeah, with the speed being basically the same and the boar, you're not really being all that much over. Oh, there's going to be counter steal right now though. So even though he has stolen the boar, it's now right now going to be stolen back because of course that was kinda not really thought through right now by Chris Deco. Definitely should have been stealing it himself. That was really fairly unfortunate in there. But yeah, let's know the chat so that it potentially are not spoiled by anything, because of course there are a lot of people actually watching in the spectator chat. So yeah, not really wanting anything like that. In the meantime, of course, boar counter stolen, so basically quid pro quo, that's correct. And the boar is going to be quite fine. The eagle warrior, has he survived? I guess so. Where is he actually right now? Coming back. Yeah, he was hopeful he can actually be stealing the boar back if maybe his opponent made a mistake, but he didn't. And with the second boar being exactly in place where it should be, I'm kind of thinking that actually green, I'm not sure that he knows about it. Yes, he does. Just on the line of sight in here. So not really any kind of problem. The scout is, though, kinda dead. Kinda dead-ish. So we cannot actually lure it. And where's the blue guy? Already coming back. And we are seeing from the guy that it's going to be Berek. Berek's right now coming up. And of course, Grant Nagus as the Persian is apparently going to be also going for a bit of a dash himself. Coming for the boar. And on the bottom side, one carcass of a boar. Has actually there been a stolen boar in here? Let's just check if we are still seeing some alive. It's going to be dash from yellow. I don't see any boars, so apparently it was probably fine. Everybody was just having those two boars as it's kind of usual. And we are going to be entering a very interesting stage of the game, because so far it seems like that noodle box is not preparing for any kind of dash or such. He's Han, so we would have potentially expected that he might be. But apparently not anything like that, whereas on the other side it's going to be probably in the other guard. But yeah, already Chris Deco is having the barracks, he's Mayan, so yeah, we would be expecting something like that. And maybe you could be expecting also players already switching into the next ages, but so far not really there or all that much. Grant Nagus right now going for Loom, and well, of course there's going to be a bit of fighting coming on, as Yellow Scout is unfortunately dead for Yellow, but of course this allowed Bulbasaur Rocks to get on the Scout from Noodle Box and getting to kill him quite as easily as well. Alright, so we have, for example, spoken about the civilizations. We are looking at CZ with Yarosa as Britons, Dragon T as Persians, Chris Deco Mayans, Bulbasaur Rocks is going to be Han, and against them is Noodlebox as Hans. Right now exactly seeing this. It's going to be proper mirror between the two Hans, Bulbasaur and Noodlebox. And then Mothump, yeah, is the Spanish, Grant Nagus Persians, and Chirpas Mongols. So kind of interesting, especially that Caesars don't have Mongols, because that is a civilization you definitely want on Arabia, or on most of any kind of maps, because the elite Mangurais are just so strong in there. So yeah, definitely curious. And well, but maybe they are kind of thinking that it's going to be a bit easier for them to fight in the castle, in the early castle age and in the feudal age, because of the mod that is of course in place for Nations Cup, and that is making walls not only cheaper, or rather more expensive, sorry, but also harder to build, because they take longer to build. And on a map like Arabia, which is usually quite open, for example like this one, you are going to be having a very hard time walling up, and it will of course allow the early aggression to be all that much more effective against you, especially in the early castle age, where the castles, where the stone walls are coming up approximately. So Drash is right now coming up on both sides. Yellow still trying to find a few villages that he could be killing, as villages are also coming in from 3, or rather so far 5 players. So just a few of them are not. There is a bit of an interim on yellow, so let's have a look at the top, where there's of course a bit of willy fighting in here, as Chris Deco was apparently able to defend against the Drash from his opponent. He has been able to kill 1 extra villager, and can he kill this gal as well? No, he cannot. She's a bit too strong for him, so he'll have to run, and especially with the gang up right now, with all the friends that she's getting, yep, not really any kind of problem for green. Kinda gutsy mill has to be said. Not that it wouldn't make any kind of sense because of the deer, but it's quite close by to the opponent, and he definitely has to hope that he's not advancing faster than him, which is definitely true. You can see Chris Deco right now basically going to be through with Grand Nagus just now coming into the feudal age. So yeah, he's definitely going to be quite fine. And as a Mayan, he's probably going to be switching into archer range and crossbowman, and it's going to be really pretty hard right now for the opponent as Persian to defend against this, because the Persian would want, ideally, to advance faster into the next age. Well, bit of a help apparently to the militia guy from the nature. Oh! He actually survived. Well, that was quite close. There was just about 1-2 hits, and he would have been dead, but he isn't, and that means that, of course, the military buildings, the archer range, and the blacksmith coming up for blue, and he's going to be quite ready to abuse his opponent. In the meantime, at the bottom, the Drash from yellow is actually still very much alive, being as annoying as ever, trying to delay the economy of Noodlebox, and it seems to be working quite alright, because Bulbasaur is at 28 villages, Noodlebox at 25, and since they are both in the feudal age already, definitely tells you that the yellow player from the CZ clan, or rather CZ clan, from CZ team is going to be slightly better off than his opponent. So nicely played, and the wall-in seems to be also quite nicely prepared for the next stage. It's going to be stable for him. So a bit of scout cavalry. Oh, there is a hole. Bulbasaur, how is it looking? Oh, well, he definitely... Oh, this is just sloppy play, to be honest. Because he's maybe expecting that those two connect, which there is no reason for to expect that. Because these are different types of woods. And they rarely connect, if ever. So yeah, that's definitely sloppy. He will have to go back there and definitely should be putting a wall up, because of course otherwise he's going to be in pretty deep trouble, as he is already being raided by Noodlebox exactly because of slight mistakes like those. So it seems like one villager almost dead, but the otherwise not really dead either, but still they are not gathering anything. So this is very nicely played by Australia. Definitely very nice to see. That's about 4 villages, 5 villages not gathering for quite some time, and that's exactly what you want to achieve with the early game rushing and annoyance. So Draconti is also already a bit annoying on this opponent's side, as he's already coming into Castle Age, as the few players in here as well. Chris Deco, Chirpas, Mothump, Bulbasaur, everybody advancing into the next age with Yarosa already in. And he is coming for the crossbowman, and of course that's going to be a bit of a help on the right side with all the archers and support from the knights, because we have already seen that Bulbasaur is coming for the stable and already getting ready for the knights of his own. So yep, Spearman ready. With a few villages he should be pretty much fine. Not really any kind of problem in there. As at the top there is also... Oh! Already going on a bit of raiding with the archers, but he definitely needs to be careful, because the Persian is coming for and the Scout Cavalry, and that's pretty much a correct counter right now to everything that Kizitoko is having, and I'm not exactly sure if Draconti is going to be fast enough to help him with the early aggression, but he should be. He's Persian. Coming for a castle? Really? Is he like going to be making... He's Persian, right? Yes, he is. So is he like going to be making elephants this early? That like doesn't make any kind of sense at all. Because elephants are so damn expensive. But he might be actually trying to abuse the fact that the walls are going to be weaker. And kind of not present really in an early castle age. And in that case, actually elephants might be quite hard to actually take down. Even without mahouts. Which is like a super crucial upgrade for them in the Imperial Age. Yeah, definitely curious how this is going to develop. I'm going to switch into a Draconti. Because I'm really fairly curious. Oh, he's really going for elephants right in the castle age. Oh man. That's really kind of surprising to me, coming from the town center because of the gold, of course, and overall economy. As crossbowmen are already killing from Yarosa and Little Boxes villages, so that's definitely nicely played. And not even the palisades are going to be helping you. Unfortunate, about 3 villages dead. Nicely played indeed, and he's going to be continuing into those idols and quite potentially into some farmers which are not really all that effectively built, but it's not like it matters all that much in here. And especially on the very rich wood line on the right side, already second flank coming up, and with Bulbasaur already with knights, it's going to be a bit too late from Mothump with the knights of his own. So far nicely played. Archer range coming up, basically that's going to be for skirmishes. Because there's no way that he can be actually protecting with just knights. He's just now advancing into the castle, so he's hoping for a bit of a protection with the tower. But yeah, he's just a bit too late, and I'm fairly certain that those knights from yellow are going to be sufficient help in this endeavor. Especially looking at the very nice hill right on the right side, helping with the extra damage. So tower, unfortunately not up. Just a whole coast of villages in here, like quite literally. Noodle box is right now at 26 villages just, which is basically like 14, 15 less than he was having just a moment earlier, I'm thinking. So that's well played, very well played, as we are also looking at blue player on the left side, controlling his opponent in similar manner with a lot of crossbowmen, but the tower being up, and the scout cavalry not being enough, as the first elephants are arriving slowly. It's taking them like a ton of time, coming across a whole map. He was having resources for about 2 elephants. 2 elephants yet. Well, of course, they are super expensive. But they seem to be working. They will be exactly what they need them to be. And that's a bit of a tank against all the damage from Watchtower and such. In the meantime, of course, the purple player is having such significant problems that even though his castle is just now hitting, it's probably not going to be anything all too significant. Let's switch into Noodle box. Well, he does have some resources, but not much. He's going to be for about a few knights, and that's pretty much it. Not even going for them right off. So it's going to be cavalry archers. Oh well. Alright, so let's see if it's going to be working. I'm not exactly convinced, because of course he would have to play it like really well. Really well, because he's already in pretty deep trouble, and considering that Bulbasaur should be helping his teammate quite alright. Well, right now not really proving that. He needs to be sending a whole lot more knights into the efforts, because otherwise Orange is going to be overpowering him. As he's playing quite well Mothump. But yeah, definitely CZs are poised to make something significant happen in here, and the number of crossbowmen is continuously growing. In the meantime, on the left we are looking at full help from the Mongol with the Edik Mangurais and also a bit of a siege. Oh, apparently it's going to be Scorpions, that's against the Eddies. Fairly certain about that, because Scorpions are actually quite effective against them. Especially heavy Scorpions in the next age, of course, and well, some military buildings switching into a bit of archer ranges and skirmishes, which might actually be a bit of a problem from Chris Deco, who is trying to kill the watchtower. And yeah, right now final elephant is in place and going to be killing the tower in just a matter of about half a minute, Yeah, it's going to be working quite fine. Scout cavalry 1, not any extra elephants so far coming up. We don't see them on the minimap, but what we are seeing is actually yellow, and this is where his army is. I was kind of wondering why he's sending so many units to help his teammate into fighting against Noodlebox, and the reason is because he's sending his flank, or rather squad, onto Radiant of his opponent. He's having 2 squads in there, one on the left and on the right. Well, has to be careful about the shooting down center, but yeah, this is definitely not a bad idea, as he could be crippling the economy of Bulbasaur, basically stopping any kind of military production at all. And of course, with the combination of crossbowmen from Jarosas the Briton, he is quite nicely prepared. They are quite nicely preparing for making life as difficult for Australians as possible. That's already about 5-6 villages dead. That's actually pretty significant. Motham right now at how many? 34. 34, Noodlebox 26, Grand Nagus 27. So only one who is at some reasonable amount of villages is basically just Sherpas. Sherpas who wasn't attacked at all, who is at 57. Otherwise, the players from CZ, 59, 80 from Dragon T, 56 and 51. Well, they are so better off than their opponents, and they are probably having the hand, or rather the game, in their hands pretty much. So let's see how this is going to develop. Let's have a quick look on the left, where the Mangurais are already present and defending quite alright. And it seems like that Chris the Call lost all the units in here together with the Elephant. So yep, all the units from the left flank of the Czech Republic B will have to be a whole lot more careful with how they proceed. Some extra allies coming up. With Dragon T having the economy for that pretty much right now. We have Aziz having the best one at 87. As there is a bit of raiding, of course, still continuing. Well, a lot of it actually. And well, Motham not really having any kind of luck with that. But yeah, definitely nice idea with the monastery and the monks trying to get rid of the knights and potentially even add them to the army of his own. In the meantime, this is going to be allowing a bit of recuperation for Purple, for Noodlebox, because of course, even though he's still raided at least a bit, reminded that there's some kind of military presence from CZ. He's not raided all that significantly, and this is definitely kind of sloppy right now by CZ. They are trying to do a bit too many things at once, and they are kind of thinking that maybe Noodlebox is just dead, but don't underestimate him. He already has pretty significant army of cavalry archers, and even though Yellow is going to be countering him quite alright, it should be still better if they were just having a squad of crossbowmen running around, killing both the units, and much more importantly all the economy in here. If they were killing the gold mining, he wouldn't be able to make any kind of army at all. So yeah, it's kind of weird decision right now by Czech Republic B, and they should be really paying a bit more attention to the purple player as well. In the meantime, of course, still full on raiding coming up, but Orange is definitely doing a pretty great job. Even though there are quite a lot of dead bodies of horses, which some are yellow, most are going to be orange, well, he's doing as much as he can to get rid of the pesky raiders in here. But yeah, right now with the gold running out, because obviously he's not going to be able to gather anything with the reinforcements from purple, or rather from teal, that's the correct color, it's going to be quite a tough time for him. Grand Nagus right now advancing to Castle Age. Going for the castle right next to gold. This is super important. And the Scorpions with the Mangurais and a few guys on top of that extra. It's going to be pretty much fine to defend against Chris Deco and Dragon T, at least for the time being. But yeah, let's see for how much longer. Oh, I was actually thinking that actually the Grand Nagus is already in Castle Age, but he was just clicking into it. And then I thought that this was his castle. So not any kind of allies or anything from him. So this is a castle from Chirpas, and well, of course this makes sense because he does have a pretty good use for them with the Mangurais already being in his arsenal. Okay, so Orange definitely having a very hard time at 18 villages yet. Just 18 villages. So he's basically being killed altogether, and 15 of those are idle. Yeah, just those 3 aren't. And this is really looking pretty tough right now for Motham. And Noodlebox should be helping him as soon as possible. He right now is a minion, but he needs to protect himself against his opponent as well, because looking at this flank of Bulbasaur's knights, yeah, he doesn't have enough at all. So it's probably going to be something similar in this part of the map. And we are also looking on the left where villages are coming up, and they are probably from Dragon T going to be aiming for a castle. I'm fully expecting that Castle Bald here would be making sense. Dragon T, as we are looking, oh, well, right now luckily switched exactly into the battlefield between the cavalry archers and the yellow knights, which the yellow knights will win quite easily. Yeah, not really having any kind of problems at all with that, so that's nicely played. And teal is already switching from orange also into the grey player, which is basically the one that is having the best economy with 72 villages. Even though it's not as good as Czech Republic Beast, even the worst player from there, it's definitely something significant, as he is a very strong force to be reckoned with on the left side, and he is keeping the green player alive just by himself pretty much. Because green, even though he's doing what he can, he is also at just 31 villages, and he just cannot fight against the army that is coming his way from blue on the left side, with castle already being dropped, and castle of course from red also on the right for the elephants. So yep, nicely played in here, with Teal still also continuing to be having a few units in the opponent's base in the middle, basically in both pockets. And he seems to be really quite well playing with 21 villages just for Motham. And of course trying to work on reducing the amount of villages for Grey as well. And he has already succeeded at least a bit. Well, but cavalry archers, aka Mangurais, are still very much alive. Even though not exactly sure for how much longer, because there's a pretty strong push from the left side, and from the end. From the right, it's going to be continuing pretty well as well. And we're going to be right now seeing that noodle box is pretty much dead. There's absolutely no chance that he could be surviving this attack. And even just the knights, even under the fire of the town center, they are going to be continuing quite alright with reducing the base of noodle box to ashes. Going to be even aggressive castle being dropped on top of that. Well, the last knights from little box, and otherwise it's going to be it. And we are hearing a lot of conversions on the left, and it's going to be the, oh yeah, pretty nice reaction right now by Australians to convert the elephants. This is exactly what you should be doing, but unfortunately GG's are done, because on the right side the battle is basically lost, and CZ aka Czech Republic B are going to be winning in this first game against Australia C. So nicely played, and let's check onto the post game. Alright, so we are looking at the Dragon T winning everything, which is definitely warranted, because he was in the pocket, he was booming, and he was having the economy up at the fastest of them all. So it kind of makes sense, and yeah, he deserves that. But otherwise, I really like the play on the right of the duo of Bulbasaur with his teammate Jarosa. That was really nicely executed, especially from Jarosa. So yep, nicely played indeed. But it's not like Australia's didn't play anything. They didn't play really that bad. They just were caught off guard, and the fast castlage from the flank, that probably wasn't the best idea in there from the Hunt player, but yeah, it's usually what you do. But he was doubled, he didn't receive any kind of help significantly fast enough. So he was under archer fire, and then, yeah, that was one feudal army from Jarosa, with Castle Age army from Bulbasaur, but Noodlebox was just for Castle Age, and unfortunately Motham as well. So that was probably the reason why they weren't able to defend against the double in there. Even though they were two as well. Okay, GG. GG, let's...